Hi, it's Emma from Mobius Makes, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your cats their own bookshop. This video will be split into two parts. Part one will be construction using the box, and then part two will be the painting and decorating portion, which will really pull the shop together. For supplies, you're going to need a hot glue gun and glue sticks, a cutting mat, and then an X-Acto knife, or a box cutter. And that's just for the basic construction of the box. You will need your basic box that you're going to use for the whole shop essentially, but then you're also going to need some other boxes or extra cardboard because you'll need that to add the other details and extra parts. For the bookstore in particular, I already have the idea in my head, but instead of having the box sitting like this, how I usually do, I'm going to actually have it up like this. Because I want it to be pretty tall, and I do want the top of the store to be flat. I want it to look like it's kind of part of a city. So it's going to be brick, and then it's going to be split kind of in two, where it has the downstairs part of the shop, and then the upstairs is going to be like the apartment. Obviously it's just going to be fake because it's a small box. But yeah, and I think that the size of the bottom here is big enough for my cats, especially because they probably would like to kind of curl up and be cozy in the box. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. This is one of my cats, his name's Pumpkin. The first things first, you need to make sure you tear off all of the tape and labels, stickers, stuff like that. So you have a nice even surface to work on. I'm going to cut these flaps off, and then I'm going to glue these together like so, because then this is going to be cut like for the order window. I do need to get this cat out of here though. This is Pigeon. And here, flaps down. I'm going to use this Sharpie to draw on all of the details so you can kind of see what I'm envisioning in my head out on here. So what I'm gonna have is maybe like here, it would be like the split between the shop and then the like apartment thing up here. I'm gonna have the sign right here. So this is where put a piece of cardboard here, and that'll be the sign. I'm gonna call it Tails and Tales, as in like cat tails, and Tales as in books. So that's gonna be the name of the shop. And then up here is gonna be like the windows and stuff. Right underneath this, I'm gonna add a little awning. It's not gonna be like huge like my other shops where it's like really big. It's just gonna be little, a short one, but I wanna add a little awning here kind of hanging off the edge. And then down here is gonna be the window. I'm gonna draw that on. Okay, there's my window. So this is gonna be like the order window. And then underneath the window there will be a little shelf. And I'm gonna make some little books to set on the shelf and then decorate it. And then also on the side, if we do this side, I'll do a little entrance for the cats to go in and out. And that's what I drew for that. So I think that hole might be big enough. Might need to be bigger. My cat Pigeon is like 18 pounds. He's big, so I might need to cut that a little bigger. But yeah, so that's gonna be there. For the windows, I'm not going to be cutting them. I think I'm just gonna paint them on, because I think my cats really like it when the box is kept really dark, so I try to minimize putting a lot of holes in there. And then since I do anticipate the cats will probably jump on top of this, I do think I'm going to put another piece of cardboard on top just to reinforce it and make it a little bit strong. So now I'm going to cut out this window. Oh my god, wouldn't it be so, I just had an idea. Wouldn't it be so cute to have like maybe these like this, like they're the shutters of the window? That'd be kind of cute. So maybe I'll keep these. Alright. This is where the extra cardboard comes in handy. This is just one of the flaps that I cut off of the box. I'm gonna cut a part of it to go here to be like the sign. I like to use a ruler, obviously, to have straight sides. I'm just gonna cut it right below this handle part here. And then this is the sign. All right, now I'm gonna be cutting out the awning. And it's gonna be about the same size as the sign, so I'm just gonna do the same thing I did with the ruler. And then for this side, the side that's a little uneven, this is the side where I'm gonna put the little half circles for the awning, so I don't need to have that perfectly straight right now because I'm gonna be cutting it. Put your ruler where you want it to fold over, but you're not gonna cut all the way through, you're just gonna kind of indent it so that you can fold it, if that makes any sense. So you're just gonna lightly kind of cut it, but yeah, I lightly cut it and then you're just gonna like carefully fold it like that. So, and then this is the part where we're gonna have the little circle things. I'm gonna draw those on with my Sharpie. So usually I'll measure it to see how long it is, and then I can just kind of divide it so that each half circle is the same size. So it looks like this is about 14. So I'm just gonna mark it here so I know where to cut for each one. And then from there, you're just gonna start kind of cutting each section into the half circle. So usually what I'll do is I'll cut it down and then I'll cut one half off or one corner off and then the other corner off. So that they're even, like that. And then you can either leave it at a point, or if you want, you can cut off the point and make it more round. And that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, you can just keep kind of cutting off the edges until you're happy with how circular it is. This is how I'm going to be doing it. I feel like that's good enough, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do all the rest. Oh, pigeon's already getting in there, even though I'm not done. So now it's time to glue our awning on right here, and then we're gonna glue our sign on right here. I'm gonna glue the sign on first. So I'm just gonna put the hot glue on here. So we have that there, and then I'm gonna put the glue on this edge right here, and that's gonna just sit. So I'll put it on the edge, and then I'll put it right here on the top of it as well, so that it can kind of sit underneath this. And I do want it to be a little bit downward. I don't want it to just be straight out. So I'm gonna try to keep it like that. I do want to glue the little shutters on the outside of the window, but I do think they're a little bit long, so I'm gonna make them a little bit shorter of each one. And then open it like that. I think what I'll end up doing is I'll probably tape these so that they stay where they need to be, and then there's going to be a shelf right here underneath this window, and I can then glue this bottom part onto the shelf for some extra stability. Okay, here's my shelf. Hopefully my cats don't break this. Okay, so masking tape is pretty easy to paint over, so I'm going to use this to close up this gap right here, because I don't like that. So I'm going to put the masking tape here, and then I'm also going to put masking tape on each of these going inside just to keep them more secure. Okay, so now we're going to do the supports that go underneath here. So what you're going to need is just some little strips. Some little strips of cardboard. And maybe not this long, maybe like this length, about. Just make them even. Okay, and then kind of like what we did earlier where you just kind of like lightly cut it to indent, you're gonna do that on both of the sides, but you're gonna flip them over. So you're gonna do maybe just like an inch on one side, do the same with the other. You're gonna fold those this way, like so. Then you're gonna flip them over. And then you're gonna do that on the other side, so that you're kind of left with this, like, interesting shape, right? Here's a better view so you can see what I'm talking about. This is going to go here on the bottom of the shelf. This part is going to go like this, up against the box. All right, now we're gonna be adding little details to the shop that just really pull it together. So I'm gonna be adding about 1 inch of cardboard along the bottom of these 3 edges. I'm also gonna be adding 1 inch of cardboard on the top of these 3 edges to really make it look like a building. And then I'm gonna add a piece of cardboard to the top here just to reinforce it in case the cats jump up here, which they probably will. And then I'll be back. This is a piece of cardboard that I cut out to put on the side of the building here that's going to say bookshop. And then I also cut out this little piece of cardboard that's going to go on the back of it like this, and then connect to the side for more stability so that the cats can't just knock it off. I do want to mention that a lot of the stuff that you glue onto the sides like this, it's easier to just go ahead and paint it and decorate it before you glue it on. But in my case, I don't want to do that at the moment, so I'm just gonna go ahead and glue everything together and then do all the painting all at once. Even if it is a little bit more complicated, I just prefer that. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this on just on the edge. And then I'm going to put glue on this and add it to the back side. Here on the side of the house, right here on this side, I'm gonna be making a bookcase. And I'll be cutting out the bookcase using this cardboard right here. Just cutting off this flap here. I'm just gonna cut strips for this. It'll be the sides of the bookcase. So I'm just gonna cut 2-inch strips out of this. Here's all my 2-inch strips that I cut out, and now I'm going to be constructing the bookcase. So I think for the sides, I'm gonna actually double it up. And that's going to be the top and the bottom of the bookcase. And then we'll have to do the shelves. There's kind of the outside of the bookcase, and then we need to add in the shelves. And I'm going to be gluing this to the back of this. Here are my shelves that I just cut out, and now I'm going to be gluing them inside of the bookcase. Well, I cut out 4 shelves, but I guess I'm just doing 3. So there's the shelves. Now it is time to make some books. I'm not going to fill the whole entire bookshelf up with books. I want it to be kind of a combination of books, but then there will also be plants, maybe like a little sleeping cat or like a picture frame, like decorative things as well, so not just the books. Anyway, so for the books, I'm actually going to be super extra, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the outer edge just a flat piece of cardboard, but then I'm going to be stacking a bunch of cardboard together to make it look like the sides of the books, and then it'll sit on one of the shelves like this. In case you hadn't noticed, when I make the cat houses, a lot of this stuff is just kind of like figured out as I go, and a lot of it isn't really measured either, which I know isn't very helpful to people who are watching and want to learn. But okay, so then this needs to be 2 inches tall. Mark it there. And then I'm just going to cut a bunch of pieces of cardboard that are the same size as this one, which is actually very, very easy. So, but yeah, I just kind of wing it, and I'm sorry because I know that's probably not very helpful for people who are wanting to like watch a tutorial with exact measurements, but truth be told, like you can't really get exact measurements really because you're kind of recycling, so you're just using the boxes that you have available. And so in my case, like every single cat house is going to be different because I don't usually have the exact same boxes every single time, either for the little details or the base. So doing measurements would just be kind of complicated unless there was a very specific size box that I told everyone, oh, go buy this box, or if there was a kit or something, but there's not. Here's my little books. It actually looks really nice. I'm impressed. So now I'm gonna glue it in the bookcase. I actually think that looks really good. I'm impressed. Obviously it'll look a lot better once I actually like
paint it because then I'll actually split it up into the different books. So you'll see all the different books. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that again a couple more times on the other bookshelves. All right, here are my little book sets that I finished. I think I like it like that. So I'm gonna glue this on top of this. Okay, and then I'm gonna put that there. And then I got my bookcase. The cats are so funny. They don't actually go into the bookshop very much when I'm like doing other things, but as soon as I'm like working on it, that's when they start messing with it and going inside. You know how cats are. Oh, I should do some sideways books as well on the bookshelf. I always like the look of that. The little books, look how cute they are. Before we keep going, I think I want to just go ahead and glue this on the side of the building. But I do think I want to cut out the bottom border thing so that I can kind of slot it in there. So, okay, there we go. Perfectly. Look at that. Oh my god. Alright, we are finished with the construction of the cat house. Now we are going to start painting. So I get a lot of questions about the paint that I use, and the paint I use is actually just water-based acrylic paint or craft paint that you can just buy from the store for really cheap. It is water-based and it is non-toxic. So if your cats do bite the cardboard, they're gonna be okay. If your cats excessively eat the cardboard and lots of paint, I don't know if they'll be okay. They'll probably be okay, but like maybe don't build something like this if your cats really do eat the cardboard. My cats don't bite the cardboard or lick it or eat it, so I've been fortunate in that area. For the base color of my cat house, I'm just gonna do a light gray color, and then the bricks are gonna be like a darker gray color. I don't have a big brush, so I'm just gonna have to use this one. I'm gonna be painting this upper portion, which is like the apartment. It's gonna be like a lighter gray color. People always think I'm so silly for painting my cardboard brown because it's already brown, but I want it to be like a darker shade of brown. So I'm gonna use this honey brown color and then mix it with some black to make a pretty mellow brown, and that's going to be the shelf and the sign. For the shutters, I'm going to do a light blue. So I'll do blue and then white. Time for the awning. For the awning, I want it to be white and pink striped. So I'm going to be using this baby pink color. But before I do the pink stripes, I'm going to paint it all white. While the awning is drying, before I do the pink stripes, I'm going to be painting the pages of the books with this color, which is actually called parchment. Okay, this part right down here, the border, and then these under parts right here, I'm going to be painting black. For this next part of the painting, I'm going to be using these acrylic markers to write on and draw on all of the details instead of painting, because it's just so much easier, faster, and more fun. So these are the markers I'm using. It is now time to color the book covers with these markers. Alright, this is what I have so far. I used my little markers, my acrylic markers, to add some details to the shutters, and I colored all of the different edges of the books. So here they all are. Now I'm going to be designing some stickers on my iPad using Procreate, and then I'll be printing those out, cutting them with my Cricut, and sticking them on here. Here's some little sketches that I did for the bookstore. I'm doing like some yarn, a teapot, a vase, a bunch of plants. These are some different signs that are going to go on there, and then this is a little cup with paintbrushes. And now I'm just going to color those in. Okay, I am making some stickers for the cat house, and these are just stickers that I designed using Procreate on my iPad. And then I'm cutting them out using my Cricut Maker 3. So I'm printing them on matte vinyl sticker paper, and then I'm going to be laminating them before cutting them out. I'm not going to be showing you exactly how I do this process. If you are interested in making your own stickers for your cat house, then you can watch my other video, which I'll link here, which is how to make your very own vinyl stickers. If you don't want to make stickers, then you can just draw these things directly onto your cardboard box using any material really, If you don't want to make stickers, you can draw these things on your cat house using any medium that you want, like colored pencils, markers, paint. I just don't want to do that because I prefer doing the stickers. It's more fun for me, and then also I can sell the stickers so that people can buy these and put them on their own cat house. So it's just easier that way for me and more enjoyable. Alright, here are all of the finished stickers. I've got lots of windows, and then I have just miscellaneous things, so like a lamp, a vase, teapot. This is going to go on the sign. And then I've got paintbrushes, yarn, because you know cats love yarn, lots and lots of different types of plants, including some that are like in vases that go on the side of the building, lots of different signs as well. So yeah, these are all of the stickers, and I will be selling this whole set on my shop if you want to buy them for your own cat house. I'm going to be using a white Posca pen to write books right here on this side. It is now time for one of my favorite parts, which is sticking on the stickers. Now with this, there isn't like a designated place for each sticker. There's a couple where you're going to want to put them there, right? So like the windows are obviously going to be going up here in the apartment area, and then there's a cat that I'm going to put here on the sign. But other than that, it's kind of up to you where you want to put the stickers and stuff. So this is like my favorite part of just kind of sticking the stickers where I want them to go. And then after we do that, that is when we get to do all of the final touches and really bring this to life. This is the cat sticker I was talking about. This one is going to go right here on the sign. And then right next to it, I'm going to write Tales and Tales, which is the name of the bookstore. I'm so excited for this cat house. You have no idea. Like, I am so excited for this. Beautiful. The windows are the next thing that are kind of like designated, have designated spots. So what I kind of had in my head was I'm going to have two on each side, these sides, and they're just going to be like the plain ones. And then on the front, I think I'm going to have the two ones with the curtains, and then in the middle I'll have the regular one without curtains. So the employees only sign obviously needs to go above the employee door, just so that the cats are aware that this is the employees only door, and I, who am not an employee, am not allowed to go in this door, even though I don't think I would fit anyway. So the bookcase is one of the main reasons I made these kind of miscellaneous objects, because I want them to go in the bookcase and then maybe on top of the bookcase as well. So I have lots of like plants, vases, yarn, paintbrushes, that sort of stuff. So I'm just gonna try to figure out where I think they fit best and then stick them on. I'm just making this up as I go, so I really don't have any type of reference. It's just kind of a Yeah, I think that looks good there. Kind of mentality. But yeah, this reminds me of like a Barbie house. I feel like Barbie houses, at least when I was growing up, the Barbie house that I had like, was kind of like this, where it had some 3D objects, but then it had a lot of 2D. For example, like the fridge would be 3D, but then when you open the fridge, all the food inside would be 2D, just like drawings. And that's kind of what this reminds me of. But it's cute, I like it. It's very whimsical. And I know the cats won't mind. Also, if it's 2D, that will, you know, prevent the cats from gnawing on it and destroying it. And look how cute my cat is. He's sleeping. I think I'm gonna put this open sign on the shutters. Open! I just realized that the reason this reminds me so much of like a Barbie house is because I'm pretty sure like in the 2000s that you'd buy a Barbie house and it would come with this, it would come with stickers that you needed to stick on the Barbie house. Like it would tell you where they needed to go, but you had to stick them onto the Barbie house. And I think that's why this reminds me of that. It's basically a Barbie house, but for my cats. Stickers are done. They look great, and now I'm going to start adding all of the other little details with my paint pens. I'm going to use my Posca pen to write the bookstore name right here, which is Tales and Tales, and then I'm just going to start adding all these other little details with my markers, and I do still want to add bricks to this part, so it looks like a brick shop, so I'm going to be doing that too. But I'm going to be painting that. I'm not going to be using my pens for that. So let's get to it. How did I write that so perfectly? I don't know. It is now time for me to paint on the bricks, and they're just going to be gray. I think a little darker gray than the base color. To do the bricks, I'm going to be just using a flathead brush like this so that I can just kind of pull it across and make the brick that's this size. That way they're all consistent. Yes, logically it would have made more sense to draw the bricks on before the stickers, but your girl has no patience, so that did not happen. Look. Aw, he's so cute. Aw. Hey! Hey! Stop! Butthead. Hey! Bro! You made me smear it! I'm scared. You made me get black on the shutters where I did not want black. here it is, the finished bookshop. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that it was helpful to you. I look forward to seeing your creations in the future. If you post them on social media and tag me at Mobius Makes, I would love to see them. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!